Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
And it is a Friday. We are live from Jenkins Hyundai. No place I'd rather be. Atlantic Boulevard, Hays Carlyon, and La Selva for the next couple of hours. And it is on the heels of an absolutely phenomenal beginning to the 105th National Football League season a night ago between Kansas City and Baltimore. It'll be tough to outdo that.
What'd you make of that?
Sunday.
Yeah, what'd you make of that game?
One-sided officiating.
Totally.
Yeah, I really felt that way.
How can you emphasize the offensive tackle alignment for only one team?
Why doesn't he get it? I mean, he's making $20 million a year. Why does he put himself in, and we're talking about former Jaguar Juwan Taylor, just smarten up, okay? Yeah. Why bounce back? And he got hit twice, but he could have gotten hit 50 times. And, I said the calls favored Kansas City, but, I mean, Mahomes took two massive shots out of bounds. I was surprised that first time they didn't actually call a 15-yard personal foul. They got the call right at the end of the game. I
gotta wear those white shoes.
Yeah, I printed it and I left it in my office. We're so screwed up. They change these rules every single year, but they still will not put into it for football fans common sense.
Yeah.
And it remains the biggest problem with the NFL. It was the right call, but we've seen the complaints that have come in from the Baltimore side. I just hate that football fans have waited 9 months, and you had such a good game last night, but the officiating is as big as the outcome of the game between these two sensational teams.
I'm fine with if the league wants to emphasize something that's in the rule book that they feel like has gotten too lax.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
But you've got to call it on both sides.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you can't have Baltimore get flagged 3 times on their opening drive for this.
Yeah. Were those ACC officials?
It looked like it. It's a great question. And then they gave the Chiefs DC the timeout.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to call it.
Right.
It was a tough night. But my biggest issue, and I don't think it affected the game. I mean, I think the Chiefs deserve to win the game. Look, I mean, if you're the Ravens, this should be a teaching moment for the rest of the league, and the Jaguars are going to emphasize this to their guys. If you're a skill guy, you got to be wearing white shoes.
Yeah.
Because if he's wearing a white cleat last night, that's a touchdown. What doomed that was the black cleat made such a stark contrast on the sideline that it was very easy to tell that his big toe was on the line. If he was in a white cleat, that's a touchdown.
Those officials went to Shmuna's vision. I guarantee you that. Not too far from us here on Atlantic Beach. We'll get there momentarily. We're going to kick things off here with Frank and Doug Pederson in just a couple of minutes. We're going to get all the details here at Jenkins Hyundai as well. But look at the material over here with autographed helmets, balls, and jerseys. If you're trying to tell me that I can get a Foye Oluokun game jersey, I may roll out of here with a brand new car today.
Yeah,
okay?
There you go.
That's where I am as far as this is concerned. Hey, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next 2 hours. The biggest story out of South Florida is Jalen Ramsey. He just got paid. He's the highest paid corner once again in the National Football League. He did some individual drills today with a hamstring.
Amazingly healed up once he got his money.
I mean, can you get paid all this money and not play on Sunday?
No, you cannot.
No, you have to play. And I put it on Twitter, and some people disagree with me because I want it, just like everyone else, you want to win more than anything. But I want to see him out there against these new wide receivers. It's game one. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what Thomas can do on one side, and depending on what they do defensively with Anthony Weaver, what Gabe Davis can do on the other side.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, and it will be interesting to see what the Dolphins do. Now, I would expect Ramsey will be active.
Yes.
But they do play the Bills Thursday night, and that game is much bigger for them than this one. So, it is interesting. It's something that I think if you're a coaching staff, you do have to consider. Yes, the opener is important, and you are playing an AFC team, but Buffalo is the team. If the Jaguars had, let's say Tyson Campbell had been questionable with a hamstring, and they were getting ready to go to Houston on Thursday night, I do think you'd have to ask, is it worth putting him out there because the much bigger game is in 5 days? So I still think Ramsey is active, but it is because of that Thursday night game. I'm very intrigued to see how it goes as we get closer to kickoff. Because right now, I mean, we're 48 hours away. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be 1-0 or 0-1.
And we're going to break that down from every which way you can possibly look at. We'll invite you to come on by and say hello to us as well at Jenkins Hyundai on Atlantic Boulevard. All right, we've got a ton to do. We're going to be absolutely jam-packed over the next couple of hours. But let's kick it off with the voice of the Jaguars. Let's go to the head coach, Doug Pederson, and Jacksonville's own Frank Frangie.
Now, Coach Speaks. Here's the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Doug Pederson. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, now let's welcome in the coach, Doug Pederson, as we get closer and closer to a trip to Miami, along with Frank Frangie in the afternoon. Doug, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, Frank. I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
We are doing great, and I'm excited. I got to tell you, as preseasons and camps go, from the outside looking in, man, I can't imagine this one going any better. How do you feel about where your team is and how they kind of got through this preseason period?
You know, Frank, I feel good about where we are. I think, number one, the health of the football team. You know, going into week one, I think by far it's probably one of the healthier week ones I've been a part of. You know, and really felt good about how the guys handled training camp. It was tough. You know, we had the joint practice with Tampa Bay, and I thought they handled everything extremely well. So I've been pleased with you know where we're at right now.
You have told me, you said it publicly too, that these guys took that finish hard last year, and they came back committed. And I know you and I've had this talk a bunch. Trevor took it hard, and I think it showed up in camp. Where do you feel like your team is kind of emotionally as it gets set to head to Miami?
I think, you know, emotionally they're in a good place. They're in a good spot. I do think that last year bothers them, you know, as it bothered me. And you know, it just gives us a little more motivation, a little more focus, a little more, I think, direction. And, you know, we understand that, you know, internally we can be a good football team. And, you know, so I think the guys are mentally ready for that.
What have you seen from Ryan Nielsen's defense now that you've seen it through 3 games? And obviously the starters didn't play a lot, but they played enough. What have you seen from the defense and how he's changed things?
You know, I think the biggest thing is how we're coming off the football. You know, we've obviously changed the scheme just a little bit. We're going to more of a four down front. Can still play some 3 linebacker looks and things like that in base, but really it's been about how we're coming off the ball, how we're moving in sync with one another on defense. There's not a lot of moving parts. I think that, you know, I look at guys like Tyson Campbell and Ronald Darby on the outside and how more aggressive they are. It's, you know, a little more kind of up in your face mentality as far as an alignment. Guys like Trayvon and Josh Allen, you know, come off the football has really been exciting for me to see, because that's what we ask them to do. We ask them to get off the ball. We ask them to set an edge. We ask them to get after the passer. And then the other thing, too, I think, is our linebackers, Foye, Devin, Chad, Muma. Just the way they're more downhill in the run game. They're attacking gaps. I just think just a little more sound football, what I've seen with the defense so far.
Offensively, you've got some cool new pieces. Brian Thomas Jr., who's so fast, and Gabe Davis, a veteran guy. Mitch Morse, we just had him on the air yesterday, and what a neat guy and veteran, grown-up guy he is. How do you feel about the new pieces in the offense? And you're right, everyone's healthy. Christian's healthy, which is awesome. How do you feel about how that offense has come together?
Yeah, I've been pleased with the way these guys have come in, and the guys you mentioned, you know, especially the free agents with Mitch and Gabe, and the guys have really bought into what we're doing, what we're teaching, and you know, they just give us a lot of depth. They give us a lot of veteran experience, and you know, something that we're excited about. And then, you know, Brian Thomas, you know, our first round pick, just really excited to watch him play, and his speed obviously is extremely is real, and he's fast, and looking forward to watching him all season long, and how he grows and matures, and how he handles the NFL stage. But been real pleased with all our free agents, all our new pieces, and just excited for this week one experience.
Let's get to that game a little bit. Miami led the league in offense last year, second in scoring offense. They're fast offensively, Doug. That's what everyone talks about. How do you defend this team, and what do you think when you watch Miami on tape?
Frank, that's the number one thing that really stands out is their speed. And then I think secondly, they do a nice job. Mike McDaniel's team, they do a lot of misdirection. They do a lot of motions and shifts and a lot of fast motions, jet motions, things like that really try to, trick your eyes as a defense. And it creates a lot of space in the passing game. It gets their runners on the edge. They're extremely fast in the backfield as well. And so you got to be extremely disciplined. You just got to trust your keys, trust your eyes. You can't get out of a gap. And then when you're tasked to guard Tyreek Hill, you've got to be on point. So it's an offense that's explosive. And so defensively, you have to be very disciplined in order to, defend it.
It's going to be a fun game for sure. We get on a plane tomorrow. I got to ask you, I asked you this the other day off air, but because we were thinking about it. You still get jitters a little bit? You've done this a long time in a lot of ways. Still get kind of nervous a little? Is it a good nervous?
Frank, it is a good nervous, and I do. I still get the jitterbugs and the anxiousness a little bit, and I just want it. I want it so bad for our players. I want to win for our players, and when I played, obviously I was still nervous, but I could control things a little bit more when you're out there on the field. And now, you really just can't control it as much when you're on the sidelines. But yeah, definitely get nervous. It's a good nervous though, and 3 hours of football, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I told you this yesterday. I get nervous, Doug. We're all nervous, so it'll be a fun day. But hey, thanks for spending some time. I know it's a busy week for you. I look forward to. I'll see you on the plane tomorrow, and good luck on Sunday, Doug. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
All right. Doug Pederson, the Jaguar football coach. Jags in Miami coming up on Sunday.
All right, weekly conversation there. We appreciate both Frank and Doug, and we move a little bit closer to kickoff, which we'll have for you. Pre-game, in-game, post-game. Your only spot right here, 1010 on the AM, 92.5 on the FM. All right, are you ready for this?
I am.
Blue and Carlyon. JJ, stand up back in the studio, because this is going to actually sit down, because this is going to buckle your knees.
Should I sit or stand?
I want you to stand, okay? We are going to give out here from the good folks at Jenkins Hyundai. In 45 minutes, when the Jaguars cheerleaders, the Roar, are here live. Right now, we've got Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I just threw him a down and out. He went right through the double doors.
Yeah.
And I threw it lefty like Tua.
Calvin Ridley did.
Yeah,
he didn't understand the route.
He had no idea, man.
Yeah.
He ran a deep ball, and I asked him to give me a little, a wheel route. The first listener who comes by and asks to take a picture with a member of the Jaguars Roar gets an autographed jersey of Christian Kirk.
Wow.
Okay?
Awesome.
And look at these jerseys.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
All right?
Yeah.
I mean, let me repeat that one more time. And that's going to be at 5 o'clock. The first one to show up here at Jenkins Hyundai at 5 o'clock and ask to take a photograph with a member of the Jaguars Roar, the good folks here at Jenkins Hyundai, they're going to give you an autographed jersey of Christian Kirk, who is healthy.
That's incredible.
And it's an unbelievable prize.
It's an unbelievable prize. And
right.
I think he's heading to...
I don't have any friends. I'm like trying to find him, come by and grab me some for the
Right.
It's like I
think
burn all my bridges.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a career year. Catches and yards. What do you think?
You know what? 114 receptions last year for Evan Ingram. I said this year, JJ and I went through it. I think Ingram leads the team in receptions.
Okay.
I think it was proven last year when he went out. And, Agnew was out last year. Parker went out. Zay was out. They were an injured wide receiver group a year ago. And really, that's the biggest concern this year. Can they stay healthy? But I'm with you. And I don't think 114 balls this year for Ingram, because if these guys can stay healthy, more are going to go to the wide receivers. So I'm with you there. I think he leads the team.
You saw how Baltimore used Zay Flowers last night.
Boy,
How
I
it
loved
was
it.
constant.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a big part of Sunday's plan for the Jaguars with Christian Kirk. Not so much the quick throws that don't even get past the line of scrimmage, but in terms of target volume, I think Christian Kirk is going to really eat them alive.
How about their tight ends? How about the second tight end
It's
last night?
unbelievable.
You know,
Isaiah
Brenton
Likely,
Strange is probably, the 8th? I mean, in the pecking order, he's probably the 7th or 8th guy on this roster. Obviously, when you got a guy like Amari Jackson, the ability to run, he can also sling it. But I think around here, this is still a pass-first offense. And hopefully with Gabe and his average, and then you look at Brian Thomas Jr., who led all of the NCAA a year ago at 17.1 yards per, there's an ability here to stretch defenses.
Yeah, they're explosive without a doubt. And again, I think that's exciting because while you can take advantage of it, if it isn't there, if the opponent does a nice job of covering it, Kirk and Ingram should have lots of space to work underneath. And I think ETN, I really think offensively, if the offensive line can hold up, I think the skill that they've built on this roster is really, really hard to defend, because there's just so many quality options. They may not have the elite, the superstar, but they've got so many good quality players, and it's going to be difficult to cover them all, particularly if they can block it all.
It's going to be a really, it's going to be fascinating to see how this season starts, because these teams are similar in some ways, but then I also think it's a little bit misleading, particularly when you look at the great backs that Miami has and the ability for them to hit pay dirt. I mean, Mostert had, 18 touchdowns a year ago?
They've got 2
and
home
Akon
run
averaged
threats.
7.8 yards a carry.
And it's incredible. I mean, both those guys are game wreckers, and Jalen Wright's an exciting rookie that they added to it as well. That's incredibly dynamic from an athleticism standpoint. Great trait. So, yeah, they're going to have 3 running backs that you can't let your guard down on at all. We mentioned Foye Oluokun. I had a chance to talk to him earlier today, and he said something that I thought was really cool. Because of all the motions and things like that, when you play Miami, the last picture you get before the snap is not the real picture. And they're going to have to fight through that, because if you miss the gap with this kind of speed, I mean, it's going to be explosive. There's our guy right there.
Let's see if I can hit him this time. I already 0 for 1. Let's see, right in the hands. DeVille. He's got soft hands.
Ready.
He does. All right, let's stay on this angle when we return. I get it. We're always about offense, and whether it's college or pro, it's about how many points can you score. But let's come back and investigate a little bit and dive deep into Ryan Nielsen and this Jaguars defense. And how do you slow down a Miami team that is fast? Okay, and not only are they fast, they're quick. Okay, they're explosive, plenty of motion, plenty of shifting. The way that they maneuver guys all over. How is Ryan Nielsen and this defense going to be able to handle things? We'll include the interview that Hays did moments ago with Foye Oluokun. So come on by and say hello. We're on Atlantic Boulevard, Jenkins Hyundai. We'll be here today until 6 o'clock.
Saturdays in the South are made for football. Yes. But you can get the game day feeling on Friday night on the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
The big games, the big matchups.
Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon from MyBookie. Embrace the start of football season with MyBookie. Take advantage of their live betting, especially if a heavy favorite gets off to a slow start. And you got to check out their cool prop bets. If you haven't signed up, go to mybookie.ag, register for a free account, use promo code 1010XL to get a double bonus. For a limited time, MyBookie will double your money on your first deposit. Let's take a look at some updated MyBookie lines. The Jaguars are a 3-point underdog at the Dolphins. The over-under is 49 points. The Texans are a 2.5-point road favorite over the Colts. And the Cowboys are getting 2.5 points at the Browns. There are tons of cool prop bets as well. Sign up with that promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus. Again, it's a double bonus. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
When I say Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned has big selection, I mean it's huge. Mia here, not 100, not even 500, over 600 vehicles in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18K. Plus, you get 60 days to love it or exchange it. 60 days. And Arlington's Credit for Everyone program is here to help you get financed. Shop Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Are you thinking about upgrading your outdoor space with artificial turf? Well, you're going to love working with Caleb at Sunshine Turf. He's genuine, always on time, and really trustworthy. Frank Frangie here. We at Sunshine Turf design and install turf at the Bragan Baseball Complex, and it's gorgeous and maintenance-free. From putting greens to pet runs around pools and more, Sunshine Turf can do it all. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Pour down in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and X to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hays Carlyon goes there for you.
Work on three, work on three, 1, 2, 3, work!
Hays Carlyon here. Find my blog at 1010xl.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand, a stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort. IslandOaksRVResort.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Okay, you've decided it's time to sell your home. How do you go from a problem to a promise? Listen, there are problems that come with selling one's homes, but with the promise of ChadandSandy.com, you're going to get there, and you're going to get there in the best possible way. You see, here's the promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or they will buy it. So go to ChadandSandy.com. Listen, lots of stories of proof out there. We're going to get to those in just a second. But maybe you need more space for your office or growing family, or you're worried about costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts you can trust. We recommend them for the sale of your home. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price. By a deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You get it all with Chad and Sandy. Don't believe me? Ask Stephen and Marlene in Eagle Hammock. We needed to move quickly to Ohio to be with family. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio, and all we heard is true. Call Chad and Sandy today or go to chadandsandy.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
JJ's on top of it on the same week that David Gilmour releases an LP. If you don't know what an LP is, kids, hop on the Google machine. And a little old school David Gilmour with The Wall from, I think, 78, 79, when that actually came out. We're at Jenkins Hyundai, and the giveaways here are absolutely spectacular, including the Christian Kirk jersey that Hays and I have here at our table. The first individual comes in and gets with a member of the Jaguars Roar for a photograph will get this. And we've got so many other jerseys. We've got Tyson Campbell, Foye Oluokun. We got footballs from Harrison, Campbell, Zay Flowers, Oluokun, Cisco, the first-round draft pick, Brian Thomas, ETN, Walker. We got a Josh Hines-Allen helmet. We've got a Campbell helmet. We've got a Anton Harrison helmet. The prizes here are absolutely phenomenal for Jaguar fans.
I will say it's first ballot stuff.
It is.
I mean, this is about as good as it gets.
No doubt about it.
Get over here and soak it up.
What do you expect here with the Ryan Nielsen defense? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me, Hays, is we saw it in the fourth play on opening day against Kansas City preseason-wise. They made a hockey shift with 5 guys who came in. And I asked Doug Pederson the question after that game. I had never seen so much substitution in the first quarter. They had 3 different nickels in the first quarter. That's going to slow down a little bit. I know depth is a big part of this, but Miami can crush you from anywhere in the football field. They were, second in scoring, only behind Dallas. This is a team that will put up nearly 17 points in the first half and 30 in the game. This is a tough test on day one for Jacksonville.
It's an unbelievably tough test to the point where I think if it doesn't go well, I'm not going to judge Ryan Nielsen off of one game. Now, if they hold Miami to 24 and under, that'll say an awful lot.
Take that right now.
About Ryan Nielsen, because you're right. And Doug said it to Frank in the last segment. They want to play up. They want their corners up in people's faces. But it's hard to do that against these guys. So you almost have to not be what you've been throughout the offseason because of this matchup. Because you're really playing with fire if you're not going to respect Hill and Waddle's speed. So in a sense, I think they almost have to adjust the identity of what they're going to be, at least in terms of that real press man look. But it's an incredible challenge because of how they utilize the running backs, as you mentioned. And, I think as you look at it, it's going to come down to Lloyd, Antonio Johnson, and Darby, because I have to think those are the 3 guys Mike McDaniel is saying, we got to go after these guys.
Right. And unlike Jacksonville, who replaced one interior offense on Mitch Morse, Miami replaced a couple on the interior, and obviously their center has been nicked up. But the perfect way to beat them, and I've talked about it a couple of times this week, is the way that Tom Coughlin in New York beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. That's rush 4 and drop 7. Can Jacksonville do that right now? Do they have enough where you can say rush 4, drop 7, because they can beat you with 2 guys, maybe 3 guys? You pointed it out after the trade, with the run and also pass-catching guys out of the backfield, a solid tight end, and explosive wide receivers. I mean, Cheetah may still be the fastest guy in the NFL, so you can't overdo one aspect of this game. Their coaching will recognize that and crush you. That's why this chess match, to me, is going to be just fascinating. I think you have to blitz. You have to send at least a 5th guy, but picking when to do that is going to be pretty fun to observe.
I think so, too, and I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of it's going to be obviously very hot. It's the opener, so you've got to use that rotation. I mean, you've got to lean on it. Who are some of the guys that you're hoping to see a little bit more in terms of a snap count than maybe what we're maybe used to or expecting to see. But because you're in Miami, it's week 1, got to step up a little bit more.
Yeah, and do we see a lot of Mason Smith on Sunday?
I'd love to see that.
2 years we've been talking about Trayvon Walker moving inside. I think he got 13 snaps inside last year. Could we actually see a situation where on first down, you have Walker on the outside, Armstead on the inside, then all of a sudden it's 3rd and long, and you have Armstead on the outside, and you have Walker on the inside? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
But you get the feeling that he's going to mix in. Usually when you talk about all this mixing and matching, it's changing things up offensively. Tampa did it a lot. New England did it a lot. I mean, Mike Caldwell brought none of that with him from what he learned in Tampa. It was so bland. I can't remember the last time I was more excited about the Jaguars' defense than I am about the Jaguars' offense.
Yeah, defensively, they've got a ton of great pieces, and they are deep along that defensive front. It was a big priority this offseason, is to get bigger and stronger. Yeah. Mason Smith, obviously, a big part of that. Eric Armstead, a huge part of that. And now this is an opportunity to see it pay off. Miami has, I'd say, a subpar offensive line.
Yeah.
So I think if you can stop the run, and that's where Devon Hamilton being back to full strength is so important, because I think Miami's going to have trouble moving the Jaguars. Now, they could still pop because they've got talented backs, but in terms of pushing the line back, I think Devon Hamilton is going to be the main reason that's not going to happen. But you do need to get them in obvious passing situations. If they can do that, I think Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen are going to have success beating the Miami offensive tackles. And that's where, again, I think you're going to see McDaniel counter that with things that are incredibly quick, where Tua is basically taking the snap and throwing it out immediately to Hill or Waddle. So, again, it's kind of pick your poison if you're the Jaguars, because I don't think they're going to give much in the way of cushion to Hill and Waddle. They're not going to overdo it, but you also don't want to leave that 8 or 9 yards where they can just hit a very high completion throw, and maybe if he makes a guy miss, he takes it to the house. So it's going to be a very, very delicate balance that Ryan Nielsen is going to have to find, and that the corners are going to have to find, and they're going to have to be physical. I mean, Tyson Campbell, Ronald Darby, going to have to tackle in this game. Tackle well in this game, or the Dolphins are going to have a field day.
The blueprint to beat Miami is to try to catch him in a shootout, because he'll crush you offensively. Not only the second in the NFL when it came to total points. And, again, one of the numbers I'll never understand in football is they look at total offense and total defense, which most of our listeners understand. That's yardage per game. Call me crazy. I've always looked at points per game. I think that's a pretty important statistic, okay? Miami was second last year in points per game. But, Hays, they ran it for nearly 40 yards more a game than Jacksonville. 132.4, Jacksonville officially 96.8. All right, so 37 or so yards per game. That's huge over a 17-game schedule. Point I'm trying to make is, even if Jacksonville jams up Cheetah and Waddle and does a really good job against the passing offense, if you're not stout, Miami would now 3 backs. They'll settle down and try to run the football right down your throat.
And that's why I think Lloyd is so critical to this. Muma, too, to a degree.
Yeah.
Whoever they decide is going to get the lion's share of the work there, because that's been a problem. And I think Foye Oluokun is going to see what Miami wants to do. But Mike McDaniel is a very sophisticated offensive mind, and my guess is he's been spending the last 5 months trying to figure out how can we make Devin Lloyd make quick decisions, and will he make the right decisions? It's going to be a big game for Devin Lloyd in terms of proving whether he's ready to take.
Do you think he blitzes at all tomorrow? Or do you think they send him to the quarterback at all?
I think you have to.
No doubt you have to.
I think you have to, because I don't trust him.
I think Muma's had a better camp.
I would agree. And so I still think Devin Lloyd is going to be a good player here. But this is a tough matchup for a player like that's had trouble sort of seeing things at times. So to your point, you negate that if you just send him. If you so yes, I'd like to see Devin Lloyd sent often, because I think you're playing to your strength more, using him as an athlete to just go make plays in the backfield like he did at Utah.
We'll hear from Foye Oluokun on the other side. You caught up with him just a few hours ago, but I do wonder here. Is it Foye and Muma maybe, and try to, I'm not going to say hide Devin Lloyd, but maybe send him up towards the line of scrimmage. And if he's going to be blitzing, it's not from the mic. It's putting him up on the line of scrimmage. And again, this is the great unknown. Just because we've been at practice and we watched the 3 preseason games, we truly do not know. And that's why this is going to be such a great watch. And again, it goes back to my excitement about the defense of what could be this year under Ryan Nielsen. We will find out. I do want to tell you that today's show is brought to you in part by the good folks over at Thermal Engineers. They've been a staple in Jacksonville for more than 20 years, a commercial HVAC contractor. And right now, if you're a qualified technician or installer, okay, how does top pay, 401k, full benefits, and a signing bonus sound? Just go to Thermal Engineers, Inc. Give them a call at 230-1172. They're an equal opportunity employer. Thermal Engineers, Inc. What an unbelievable opportunity. Again, top pay, 401k, full benefits, and a signing bonus. Go to Thermal Engineers, Inc. Foye Oluokun caught up with Hays Carlyon. Let's get to that on the other side. We'll get to some college football a little bit later on in the program. DJ Lagway getting the start tomorrow for the Florida Gators. And as well, we want to invite you to come on by and say hello. It's starting to really pick up here at Jenkins Hyundai. We've got phenomenal gifts to give away, including the big one here, Christian Kirk, an autographed jersey. The first individual gets here at 5 o'clock and asks to have a photograph with a member of the Jaguars Roar gets the Christian Kirk autograph jersey. All right, he is Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva back in the studio. I am Rick Ballou. Great to have you with us. We do it tonight until 6 o'clock.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's a lot more to it than a tight spiral and an accurate pass.
Everyone agrees that playing quarterback is the hardest thing to do in sports.
Denny Thompson is the Quarterback Whisperer. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet. Friday mornings on The Drill.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market. Most passing yards, gives the most for your trade. Most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase. Super Bowl champion, wow customer service. This looks like a winning season for everyone. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need help fixing a plumbing issue? Let our winning team go to work for you. 904-862-6769 or online at duckrooter.com.
Pre-Game Friday is brought to you by MyBookie
and Dream Finders Homes
on 1010XL.
Sports fans, JJ LaSelva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Why are policemen sometimes called copper? The answer next.
With hurricane season now here, the only weather you need to be concerned about is whether your homeowner's insurance policy will cover you in the event of storm damage. Ask about Southern Oak Insurance today.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Policemen are sometimes called coppers because they used to wear copper badges.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. So another Mike, who lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, was in the same position I was in. And you are most likely confused.
I spent so much money on personal trainers in the last 10 years. Didn't have a lot of discretionary income left. So I tried to listen to everybody else. What do you eat? Everyone said, eat healthy. Define eating healthy. Cut out sugar. Tell me what foods don't have sugar. So their process to me was an education. That was really the eye-opening thing to me is I had 10 choices of food in front of me every day. When I was on the run in sales, I was making 8 bad choices. I wasn't eating the 2 good ones. And I loved the 2 good ones. I just didn't know they were good. So I made bad choices every single day. And the program, Awaken 180, really changed my mind, opened my eyes up to, it was a true education on food, what to eat, what not to eat, and it's been fantastic.
Knowing what to eat and the ability to navigate nutritional labels, a proven, clear path for weight loss. Exactly what you will receive with Awaken 180. Leave confusion at the door and do what we did. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Eric Armstead will make his Jaguars debut on Sunday in Miami.
I think everything feels a little different. It's a new experience for me, but it's just football at the end of the day.
Armstead was asked this week in the Jaguars locker room about how much stress the Dolphins' high-powered offense can put on the defense.
A lot. They have a lot of weapons. It's hard to put so much attention to, one guy. They have a good offensive line, good quarterback play. He's decisive and trying to get the ball in the playmaker's hands. So they got a good operation there.
Armstead not expected to have limitations after off-season knee surgery. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
It's a rematch of the 2018 National Championship. Trevor Lawrence and Clemson, Tua in Alabama on that particular evening, 44-16. Clemson, now it's 5 years, $275 million, the extension for Duval's Trevor. Tua settles for 4 years, $212 million. But it's the defense that I think I'll speak for myself, most excited about. We are 30 seconds away from getting to Foye Oluokun and Hays Carlyon. I want to invite you to Jenkins Hyundai. We're on Atlantic Boulevard. It's a great crowd. Jacksonville is here. The Jacksonville Roar are going to be here in about 15 minutes. The first person who comes by and asks to take a photograph with a member of the Jaguars Roar gets right here, Hays, this autographed jersey of Christian Kirk.
It's pristine.
It is sensational.
It's teal. It's ready. All you got to do is come by and win it.
Let's go to the Jaguars locker room. Moments ago, Hays Carlyon caught up with Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing good. How was the week?
Solid. Good little work week. Got all of our practices in, executing and stuff, flying around with the boys again. Game plan week is way different than preseason, so excited to attack week 1 like that and excited to get back on the field playing.
How excited are you, Foye, to play a first game with Ryan Nielsen as coordinator?
I'm excited to play with him as a coordinator and play with the team that we got now. Just put a product on the field, fly around, play competitive football. That's what I'm really most excited for, playing with the boys, competing for the boys, getting that dub on Sunday.
What does it mean to you to have Devon Hamilton back at full strength?
It's great, seeing him run, his effort plays, his physicality, just knowing what a game record he could be up front. It's just great to see everybody at full strength and, just in general, his health, you know what I'm saying? Seeing him in higher spirits than last year, it's very good to see.
Foye, what's the challenge Miami will present in that pre-snap motion things that they kind of go through schematically?
Yeah, I'm sure they want to make sure your communication's on point, and then I'm sure they're motioning to get guys in space, get their guys moving before the ball snap, basically get their speed used to their advantage. So it's all about expecting motions, being able to communicate through motions. Every first picture is not going to be the last picture, so just making sure all the way through the game, mentally, you're on point, even more than physically, to be honest. But heat's there, speed's there, going to be a long game, so making sure we're on task for the whole thing.
In your experience, that week 1, how tricky is that in terms of anticipating what the opponent's going to try and throw at you that maybe they haven't put on film before?
You're always going to see plays or reps, not reps, but schemes that they might come up with in the offseason that they've been saving for the regular season this year. So you got to be able to own your own plays, own the rules and stuff in your own plays, to communicate yourself through stuff. And then sometimes it's about running and hitting. You got to hit yourself out of some problem plays, bring the physicality to them.
How do they utilize their running backs, and what kind of skill set do those guys have?
Yeah, they utilize their speed a lot, like I was saying, a lot of misdirection kind of stuff in the backfield, a lot of motions, trying to get your eyes off of them while they might, start pulling and stuff the other way. So keep your eyes right, eye discipline, and communication, and it'll usually take you to the ball.
You guys have really done a good job building up that defensive front and getting a good rotation there. Do you have some confidence that you guys will be able to hurry Tua up maybe a little bit?
In the pass game, let's win first, second down, make them drop back on third down. I know they like a lot of quick game, a lot of little boots and stuff, trying to get people the ball in space. A lot of times it's a quick 1-2 read. So if we dominate first, second down, make them get in the longer passing distances, really let that line start eating. But that's the name of the game in football. You got to really own those first 2 downs and get them in the third and long to see what they're really made of.
What kind of strides have you seen out of Tyson Campbell?
A lot of confidence, man. He's always had the speed, he's always had the tools. Now it's just a lot of playing defensive back is mental anyway, so just the confidence that he can go out there and win every rep. When he does win, he lets you know that he's winning. So I love to see it. He's coming a big vet in this league, in his locker room, and everybody's kind of feeling that.
Foye, what's your routine now with Friday practice over before you head to Miami?
Definitely keep watching a couple games, a couple of their last year games, a couple of preseason games maybe. I'm going to take a big nap when I get home, start getting my body back right in order to be flying around on Sunday. A lot of recovery stuff, but the film and stuff, just making sure everything lines up to what I've seen before. Shout out Tyson Campbell.
Going into week 1, do you have any individual goals for this season, Foye?
Win. That's all.
Foye Oluokun, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Nice talking with you.
Win. You like to hear that?
Love it.
Yeah, I thought the most insightful thing, I appreciate Foye's time after a tough, hot practice on a Friday. But the first picture you see will not be the last picture. If they can remember that, particularly the linebackers, then they can have a good day against a very talented Miami offensive mind and Mike McDaniel and the talent that they employ.
Incredibly smart man, Yale graduate, but you still cannot study enough to get ready for this opponent, and he just pointed that out in your conversation. J.J. LaSalva, you got the very latest for us as far as injuries.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah.
Jacksonville.
Exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, very good news for the Jags. Only one player, he's listed as questionable, Daniel Thomas with an Achilles. He was limited in practice today. Eric Armstead is on the injury report, but it's just for vet rest. He did not practice today, but there is nothing next to game status, so I'm assuming he's playing. As for the Dolphins, we talked about this earlier. Jalen Ramsey, miraculous hamstring, healed. He did not practice the rest of the week, but he was limited today, and he is questionable in the game on Sunday. And the only player out is wide receiver Malik Washington with a quadricep. He will not be playing on Sunday.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
And remember, they've got Chubb on IR.
And OBJ.
Yeah, so, I mean, they do have a couple guys that aren't on the injury report because they're on injured reserve,
Bradley
but something
Chubb,
to keep in mind there as well.
Real quick, before we bring in Pete Prisco here at the top of the hour, I've been a big stickler on development and being elite. It's time for Jacksonville to have the best of the best. And did Hays Allen take that move a year ago? I've always thought that Foye Oluokun, I mean, he could have 300 tackles in the season. I think he's always going to be underrated. But you're taking one of your best players. I think he was the second best defensive player a year ago behind Hays Allen. And you're asking him to switch positions. Now, when I asked him about the mic, he kind of smiled and moving to the outside and said, well, wherever they want me, which led me to believe once again that Ryan Nielsen's going to move these guys all over the place. But that is an interesting part of all of this. He's real solid where he's been. Reportedly, they're going to start off the year by moving him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting to see how they do utilize Foye's skill set and where he is going to be because he's the communication leader of the team. I mean, he's going to get the call, he's going to relay it, and he's a guy that obviously has been very comfortable doing that. But, you know, it's not so much Foye, it's the other guys, I think, around him that you worry about in a game like this. Because, again, if you misfit something with the speed they have, it's probably going to be a touchdown. So it's that discipline is going to be so crucial. But I am curious. You know, the other thing, we can talk about this later in the show. You know, the Chiefs let Chris Jones basically walk the offensive line and decide which guy he wants to
Lawrence
go against.
Taylor.
Can we? Yeah, I mean, and J.J. Watt used to do the same thing. I would like to see whether it's Trayvon or whether it's Josh, and maybe you let them, split it up throughout the game. They need to start doing that. So I think
Let's
they might.
talk about that.
So I'm excited to see that
because maybe that's
as well.
where Devin Lloyd comes in and shocks them. But why not
move him around?
Yeah,
let's see it.
That's good. Let's get into that with Pete Prisco coming up in our second hour. We're at Jenkins Hyundai. Going to be out here for another hour. Me O'Brien is here. Tom Champion is here. Hays Carlyon is here. I am Rick Ballou. JJ back in the studio. We're less than 5 minutes away from giving away this autograph jersey, the autograph jersey of Christian Kirk, to the first individual who comes here and asks to take a photograph with a member of the Jaguars Roar. But we have so many other giveaways as well coming up in our second hour. So we're on Atlantic Boulevard. It's Jenkins Hyundai. We'll begin hour number 2 by talking Jaguars Dolphins, and we'll do it with Pete Prisco.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL. Jags head coach Doug Pederson tells you what you need to know about Sunday's game.
They believe in themselves. They believe in his team.
Fridays at 4:05 on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Joe McGee in Jacksonville at 389-3592.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees, and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Meet Zara, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I came to injury care centers because I'm an old football player and some of my old injuries were beginning to catch up with me. I couldn't do what I used to do without having severe pain. I felt the improvements from the BioTargeting almost immediately. Very few places would guarantee their work because, doctors, they say they're practicing medicine, so you're essentially just an experiment. The folks at injury care centers offering a 100% money-back guarantee lets you know that they take your well-being very seriously.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Friday Night Lights return to action tonight as 2-0 Bishop Kenny travels to 2-0 to Coy Creek, kicking off at 7 right here on 92.5 FM. Meanwhile, 1-1 Bowls heads down to 2-0 St. Augustine, with that game kicking off at 7. Coverage of that game will be on 10:10 a.m. Florida State Seminoles head coach Mike Norvell took some questions after practice yesterday to talk about what the team can do to improve right now.
It's never been about what's 10 steps ahead. It's about today. It's about going out there and getting better today. It's about going out there and being the best that we can be. Well, is it mathematically possible for us to do this? No, just go play your best today. Like, if you worry about what's down the road, you're missing out on the opportunity, the joy, all the things, because everything's with the end in mind. And focus on now. Like, make the most of today on what it's going to be.
It's 82 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On The Frangie Show.
I am a huge fan of Showtime. It is on Phillips Highway. It's a great place to get baseball cards, hockey cards, any type of cards. I'm also a huge fan of Jenkins Hyundai. And that is where we are broadcasting live for another hour. Rick Ballou, Hays Carlyon, along with JJ LaSelva. Come on by, say hello. The Jaguars Roar is here. Unbelievable prizes. We just gave away a Christian Kirk autographed jersey, a Josh Hines Allen helmet. I mean, the stuff they have here is simply
fantastic.
Phenomenal. Let's head to South Florida, where we bring in Pete Prisco, who, of course, is with CBS Sports. Pete, Jalen Ramsey got paid, so Jalen Ramsey has to play on Sunday, right?
Does he?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's going to play, but just because you get paid, you know how that works in this league, Rick. Half the guys don't, they get paid and then some of them just take the, time off. That's basically what they do. But no, I think he'll play. But how limited will he be if he does play? That's the big thing. That's a break for Jacksonville, and I think they'll be able to attack those corners if he's not on the field. I really do. And the other thing about that is, Miami's pass rush is limited now. They lost their two best. Well, Phillips is back, but he's limited. His snap count will be limited. I think this is going to be a chance for Jacksonville to attack down the field.
How do you think the Jaguar defense should try to attack the Dolphins?
I would get hands all over Tyreek Hill. I'd mug him. I'd make it so he has so much trouble. And I know they move him around, but I don't care. I get my hands on him as much as I can. I'm doubling him. I'm taking him away, and if everybody else beats me, they beat me. Have at it, because I'm not letting him get going. And they're creative in getting him the football. Don't get me wrong. I know they can get him on those pop screens, those motion, the jet motion, all that stuff. But I still think you have to figure out a way to take him away. And if everybody else beats you, then you salute the Miami Dolphins for doing it that way. But I think you have to take him away.
Ryan Nielsen's substitutions in the 3 preseason games was in the first quarter was anything unlike, well, I guess game 2 they didn't play, but in the first and third game was unlike anything I've ever seen before. And, he and Doug Pederson have been saying that this is what you're going to see. Incredible amounts of depth, particularly with the front seven. How believable is that, Pete? And also, what excites you most about what to expect with this Ryan Nielsen defense?
Well, I think they're going to be much more aggressive attacking with their 4-man front, and that's going to be good for, Josh Hines Allen and for Trayvon Walker. I think they're both fit in this system more than they were in the last one. So it's good for them. I'm curious to see how they're going to play Armstead, because they keep saying he's going to play end. Well, you didn't sign him to play end. He's going to be a rotational end. I got to see how they play him, but I get it. I understand he can go inside. He can play outside. He can do a lot of different things. Walker can play inside and play outside. So they have some versatility there. But, I still think you paid that guy all that money to be on the down, playing down on your defense, and to have him as a rotational defensive end would be dumb.
In terms of looking at it from the offensive side for the Jaguars, is this a game where you want to see them come out, Trevor throw it all over the field, or would you like to see them trying to establish Etienne?
Throw it all over the field. You're going to have to, because I think the Dolphins are going to score, and I think Jacksonville's going to score. So, but you have to. It's going to be a loose game. I think you're going to see that. You looked at last night's game. It was pretty loose for the Ravens didn't play at all in the preseason. That was the veterans. That was pretty loose, and I think you're going to see it get that way on Sunday. In some other teams, the heat might be a factor, but I'll be honest with you, it's hotter in Jacksonville. It's much hotter, and so it's not going to be a factor for them in Miami. So I think you're going to see both teams go up and down the field. Hays, it's going to be one of those fun games. And I think it's going to be, team that gets the ball last might go win the game. So that's the way I see that game playing out.
Pete Prisco, our guest. He's with CBS Sports. We move closer to kickoff Sunday at 1 o'clock in Miami. Again, all the coverage will be right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Pre-game, in-game, post-game. Things that I've noticed this year, Pete, during camp is younger players have gotten better. At least they look the part. Parker Washington certainly is one. Tank Bigsby, I thought, had a real good camp here a year ago at the Miller Electric Center. What do you really believe he is able to do in his second season now with the Jaguars?
Well, I think you saw in the preseason, Rick, you saw a guy who has learned that you can't bounce everything. Everything can't be a home run. You're a physical back. You can take the, turning a 3-yard run into a 6-yard run. And everything doesn't have to be 20 yards because that's not the way the NFL is. And so I think he's a much more patient, mature runner, which is a good thing. How many carries he gets, because I still think Etienne's special when when they get pushed in the middle of that line. But it's a nice guy to have in short yardage situations if you want to do that. It's a nice change of pace when you bring him in and rest Etienne. So I do think that he's a better back than he was a year ago. Washington's one of the most improved players on that team. I mean, he looks like a pro receiver now. He knows how to run his routes. He knows how to break down. It's an entirely different guy. So he gives them a little bit of depth there in terms of versatility. And also, if God forbid if somebody goes down, I think he can step in and play.
Pete, give us your record prediction for the Jaguars and if they're able to win the AFC South.
I have them going 9-8, and I have them making the playoffs but not winning the division, even though they'd have the same record. That's kind of the way. I think this division is going to be all jumbled up. I think any one of the 4 teams can win it, and I think they're all going to beat up on each other. I'm not one of those guys that sits there and says, "Oh, look at the Texans. Look what they did last year. They've added so many pieces." Because I don't necessarily think that they're that much better. A, but B, they have to learn and deal with being the hunted. That's hard. Jacksonville learned that lesson the hard way last year. And I think young teams have to deal with that. That's why, Jacksonville went out and got veterans who've been around the playoffs and been through those wars. Armstead and Darby and Savage. Those guys have been around that. Morse. And I think the Texans, they have a lot of young players who haven't really been around it much, trying to be a team that's getting hunted. And so I think it's going to be a tough division, a close division. It wouldn't shock me to see any one of the 4 teams win it, but I think Jacksonville will finish second and make the playoffs.
Yeah, interesting. We saw elite players last night. We saw the best player in the world in Mahomes, and we saw Lamar Jackson, who at times struggled to pass it, but was just incredible late in the game. Trevor gets paid now, and this is year 4. It's time for him to take the step, maybe not to the level of those 2, but to be great or head towards elite. What do you believe this year 4 for Trevor Lawrence?
Well, one of the things, he did himself a disservice last year by not really talking about how injured he was. And nobody wants to talk about injuries. But, when a guy is that banged up, and he was banged up a bunch of different ways, and you play and you don't say much about it, you're opening yourself up to criticism. You're on the field, you're getting graded, you're getting scored. And so I think that hurt him last year. I think he's going to have a big season. I thought it would happen last year, but I think it's going to happen this year. If the offensive line holds up, and that's a big if, but if they do, the weapons are outstanding. Brian Thomas is going to be an elite receiver. I think when you look at the rest of that group, you have a big physical guy in Gabe Davis. You have Kirk is such a valuable part of their offense. Ingram can do so many things. You get Etienne in the passing game. I think Trevor's going to have a great season. In fact, This week we had these like debates on our set. We were talking about Tua or Trevor because they're playing against each other. Give me a break. I mean, it's not even close in my mind. Tua's done some good things. Trevor's going to be a star of stars. Tua will be a good quarterback. Trevor Lawrence can be a great quarterback. But this is the year he has to start showing people that, because once you get that contract, there's a lot of people still questioning that.
Who do you like tonight, Philadelphia or Green Bay in Brazil?
Green Bay. I think Green Bay is the most. In fact, I have the Packers winning it all. I love that team. I don't know if they'll win tonight. I think they will. I picked them, but I love that team. The makeup of the team. Everybody talks about, look at Jordan Love in the last 9 games last year. Well, he finally had all his receivers, and even then, Watson was in and out of the lineup. Well, they're all back. That's a good group. That's a star-studded group. The tight end, Musgrave's good player. Kraft isn't playing tonight, but he's a good player. The offensive line's good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough. Defensively, the biggest change is they get Jeff Hafley in there. They're going to be much more aggressive, play to their strengths, which I think is a smart move. They were bad on defense. So I love that team. I love the makeup of the team. Matt LaFleur is the only coach in the history to win 13 games 3 years in a row and hasn't really sniffed a Coach of the Year award. I think this is the year he finally gets it.
All right, Pete, leave us with this. I saw on CBS Sports, you have the Jags here knocking off Miami. It feels like winning by one more play, and that's the league. Look at last night. Why Jacksonville over Miami on Sunday?
One thing about Miami is they're fun, they're exciting, they're easy to watch. I don't know how tough they are, and I think Jacksonville's going to show up and out-tough them a little bit. I really do. I think they're going to get more physical, and they'll find a way to win that game, whether it be with the defensive line making a play late or whatever. I think they're more physical, and that's kind of the knock on the Dolphins, and Jacksonville will kind of use that to their advantage and find a way to win a game. It'll be fun. It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be a fun game.
All right, Pete. Enjoy the game out there. Thank you as always, and we'll pick it up again next week.
You got it, guys. Take care.
There he goes, Pete Prisco, CBS Sports. Pete Prisco has Jacksonville knocking off Miami. You have Jacksonville.
I do have Jacksonville.
Knocking off Miami.
Very close game, but I think the Jaguars get it done.
I've picked Miami in this game. And I'm doing the exact opposite from a year ago, where they came out of the gate on fire. They were 8-3, then went 1-5. I actually think they're going to lose 3 of the first 4 this year.
Could easily happen.
3 road teams, playoff teams. Yeah. But I think they're going to find themselves and win 5 of their last 6. That's why college football, you lose early. We know what's going on right now for Florida State fans and Florida fans.
We're well-versed.
Right. It's not the case for the Jaguars. No. You can lose, and you don't want to get blown out. You don't want to look like you're not worthy. But this truly is a marathon and not a sprint. I think they're going to start real slow and then turn around midseason and be hot at the end of the year.
And that's what you want. I mean, you want to peak, obviously, in December and January, and, that's not what they were able to do last year. I actually think next week's matchup is a much worse matchup for them.
Because that's a big physical team.
Because Cleveland will beat you up.
Yes, they will.
They'll make it a street fight. And so I think when the Jaguars see a team like Miami, you got to take advantage of it. Not that Miami isn't good. They are in their own way. But they're constructed similarly to the Jaguars. So, we'll see. But I think they get the win Sunday, and then we'll see for the home opener against Cleveland.
Thank you to Pete Prisco of CBS Sports. Come on over and say hello. The Jaguars Roar is here. We're at Jenkins Hyundai, and we're going to be here till 6 o'clock today. The prizes are phenomenal. We've been giving away helmets, jerseys, footballs, all autographed. We still have many more to give away. The Christian Kirk one was given away moments ago. Still have a couple of those jerseys left. I'll let you know here on the other side. But we're located on Atlantic Boulevard. Again, we're at Jenkins Hyundai, along with J.J. LaSelva and Hays Carlyon. I am Rick Ballou. It's great to have you.
The Frangie Show from the Harold & Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's just the Jags and the NFL.
That's all I ever think about.
Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring you Jaguars Today.
Exactly.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
Let's do this, shall we?
10 to noon on 1010XL.
Hey, folks, if you're looking for an automobile, this summer, happiness is a brand new Chevy. Like a new Chevy Silverado from Nimnik Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $10,000 off a new Silverado. For well-qualified buyers, you can get rates as low as 1.9% financing on all new Silverado 1500 models. With the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and the best price guarantee, your perfect truck is waiting for you at Nimnick Chevrolet. Now remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $2,250 in trade assistance. What a great deal that is. And ask about our demo models for even deeper discounts. Shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership, conveniently located at the corner of Park and Cassett. Who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick.
Now, the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Gator Injury Report.
The Gators suffered some unfortunate injuries with their loss to Miami Saturday. Quarterback Graham Mertz went down with a concussion. Safety Asa Turner went down with a non-contact knee injury. And cornerback Devin Moore suffered an AC joint injury. Five-star freshman quarterback DJ Lagway will be taking first-team reps in practice with Graham Mertz's questionable status for Saturday night's game against Samford. I'm Max Fink with your Gator Injury Report, presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, Florida's only legal sportsbook app, and they're so stoked for the kickoff of the season. You know why? Because never before in September have you been able to legally bet on football. This year, for the first time ever, people in Florida can bet on ball. College kicks off this weekend with a big bunch of games, and all you have to do to get started is download the Hard Rock Bet app or go online at hardrock.bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
Pregame Friday
is brought to you by MyBookie
and Dream Finders Homes on 1010XL.
You know when you said come over for the fight? We thought you meant your house.
You guys want another round of Bud Lights?
Service is better here. And so is the beer.
Bud Light is back as the official beer sponsor of UFC. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle. With APRs in the 5s, you can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
You've waited patiently, and the wait is almost over. NFL football is back.
That's awesome.
Kickoff week on 1010XL is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Let the games begin. D.V. Beatrice from Beatrice Plumbing here. A lot of plumbing companies say a lot of things. We focus on what customers say. Like who a few weeks ago, Donna, said the entire experience was the best fix-it experience she ever had. Or Chris, whose hot water went out on a Saturday and he thanked us for getting it fixed that night. Because that's the difference when you hire a real plumber. They show up to fix the problem. So next time you need a plumber, remember Beatrice Plumbing. Because real plumbers fix problems real fast.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now, the Seminole Point of View with Rick Ballou. Brought to you by Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard. Dream it, drive it.
Well,
yeah.
Let's get to it. How are you going to fix these Knowles, Rick?
Why don't we start by bringing back the war chant on third down?
What is the story with that?
Mike Norvell and the team went to the marching chiefs and said, we want to play music instead. So,
is he deranged?
Well, here's the deal. Mike Norvell doesn't know anything about tradition at Florida State. When you pay all these transfer portal kids to come in, hang out there for 6 months, they don't know anything about tradition at Florida State. So this is taking on a story that just will not quit. I think they have to, by next week, 8 days from now against Memphis, fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the greatest traditions in college football. It doesn't mean as much to people now because you heard Kansas City use it last night. You hear the Atlanta Braves use it, back to when Deion Sanders played center field for him. But, to a guy like Mike Norvell, he probably doesn't even think that it started in Tallahassee. He probably thinks it started in Kansas City or something like that. So, the players come up to him, and you know how you coddle today's players. You're never going to go against them and say, no. The fans love this. They stand up, they make noise on third down. No, Coach, we want to hear Drake. Coach, no, we want to hear Willie Nelson. Okay? Yeah, we're going to play that for you. We're going to play some Poncho and Lefty on third down for you, as opposed to Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson, as opposed to the freaking war chant where the entire crowd goes crazy. But that's kind of what you get today over there.
They obviously had a bye week, but so many things to fix. How would you prioritize what they've got to correct before Memphis comes in a week from tomorrow?
Effort and then toughness. And there's no alphas. There's no dogs. You make it a 21-13 game. There's life. You have the best kicker in the country, baby. You have Brian Turner blow up a guy at the 35-yard line where the ball's out of the end zone. That's selfish. It's stupid. Okay? Instead of getting your defense out there and trying to shut him down, they have the ball at, the 40-yard line. They go 5 plays and score a touchdown. It breaks their back. 2 weeks ago in Dublin, DJ Lundy, all you have to do is fall on the football. He doesn't. He's selfish. He tries to pick it up and take it back for a pick six so he can get his picture in the newspaper, right? It cost him the game. 2 plays later, Georgia Tech goes in for a touchdown. So they're playing stupid football. They're playing selfish football. And you know what? They don't have a guy. Mike Norvell dressed down Brian Turner. You know as well as I do. Doug Pederson talked about this last year in the Jaguars locker room and why they added a guy like Eric Armstead. You need dogs. Players have to police situations like that. There are certain things that only great players and true leaders can do. Florida State doesn't have a guy on their roster right now that can do that. And that has really hurt them the first couple of games.
How would you like to see him handle the quarterbacks?
You know what DJU reminds me of? My ex-wife, okay? 8 years into our marriage, no matter where I took her or what I did, she was unhappy. He looks completely out of sorts, all right? It's a grind for him. It's not enjoyable for him. Just announce the divorce, okay? Now, they dropped 7 of his footballs, all right? They had 7 penalties. It's not all his fault, and Brock Glenn's not the answer. I'm tired of people Brock Glenning me. He's not the answer. It's Luke Kromenhoek. Are you willing to take more of the bullets now and go through the massive growing pains? No, he's not going to do it because he wants to win every single game that he can. But DJU is on his 3rd team now in 5 years. He's had 42 career starts. I've never seen a quarterback who is more of an arm motion quarterback. He uses 0 core. He does not use his legs. He does not go through the development, mechanically speaking, that you need a quarterback to. You know what? I think is really missing in all of this is Kelly Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham, now the head coach of Arizona State. Mike Norvell gets unlimited amounts of credit for the progression of Jordan Travis, which he deserves. But Dillingham was a huge part of the maturation as well for Travis. And, you know, their current quarterback coach is okay. Their current offensive coordinator, he cheated and he lied to the NCAA. So somehow, even in the world of the NIL, he's been suspended for 3 games.
How can they get the ground game going?
I don't think they can. They're soft and friendly up front. And, you know, Alex Atkins is their offensive line coach. The guys that he's brought in have never played, and they don't play. They're all transfer portal guys, and they're all gooey. You know what I mean? There's not NFL linemen that are there, and that's very disappointing to me because I thought and I was told, and you trust what you're told when you talk to the same people years after year after year after year, that this is the best offensive line that they would have going back to 2013 when they won a national title. The offensive line has gotten absolutely ripped apart against Georgia Tech and Boston. Now, BC's always been a physical team.
Yeah.
But Georgia Tech beat the living snot out of them at the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively.
Without a doubt. How do you see the Memphis game? Have you gotten an early feel for challenges Memphis will present?
No, I have not. I read their box score in week 1. I didn't watch the tape. I know they have another opportunity tomorrow. I'll probably steal a look at that at some point. And, every game now, thankfully, is on TV. So I'm going to get an opportunity to look at them.
Because we still don't really know if FSU can defend the pass.
No,
because Georgia Tech and Boston College didn't really have to. I mean, first off, I don't think they're really built to do it. But they also didn't really have to ever lean into it.
No, and the thing about Florida State is regardless if you're passing the ball against them or if you're running it 52 times, they have a system with Adam Fuller, and they're going to stay with that system. It sounds a little bit like this, a 4-2-5. So even though BC's running the ball 52 times, let's back up our safeties away from the box even more in case they decide to pass. They ran for 263 yards, and they didn't have enough smarts to bring in a 5th defensive lineman or a 3rd linebacker. It reminds me of Jimbo a little bit. The thing that Jimbo did is that Jimbo had E.J. Manuel and these guys, and football-wise, they didn't understand the entire offense. Jameis Winston did. Say what you want about Winston. Right. He knew everything about the offense. E.J. didn't. But Jimbo was so hard-headed that he said, I have the best offense in America, and you're going to run it this way, even if you don't get it and you're limited. Adam Fuller is doing the exact same thing here. He's staying with a 4-2-5 defense when the opponents are running it right down their throat. High school coaches have got to be saying, why not make a simple adjustment and stack the box? But he doesn't. So if I look at Memphis right now, they could have a field day scoring against Florida State.
Obviously, they're 0-2, and, like my squad, Florida, it looks like they're headed to 2-10, 3-9, something like that. But where do you think this will end up for FSU by the time we get done with that Florida finale? What would you guess their record is going to be right now?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've never been so unprepared for a question in my life. Okay? I mean, this team should blow out Memphis. They should blow out Cal. They should go to Dallas and beat SMU. Okay? Right now, those are all questionable football games. They're going to get clobbered by Miami. They're going to get destroyed by Notre Dame. Yeah, Clemson was terrible last week. Yeah, Florida was terrible last week. There's no way I can even begin to think about what's going to happen against them because I don't know who is still going to be there giving a solid effort. I don't know who the quarterback is going to be at this particular point. This is as bad. They're coaching Willie Taggart-esque right now at Florida State.
He's got a 10-year contract.
This is the most unprepared that I've seen Florida State outside of the Willie Taggart mess. This is yesterday they showed video of them racing the coach. Ain't that cute? Let's race the coach. And they're all smiling. And I'm like, you're 0-2. Now, I get it. Don't walk around like life is awful and this is a problem and that's... But how dare you walk around and smile and pat each other? You've gotten your ass kicked. And they should take, there should be some history and tradition and some...
pride.
Yes. And there's none. Again... But can you really expect these guys to get upset if they're rent-a-players for 6 months? They don't care about Florida State. They care about getting paid and going into the NFL.
I'm shocked at how poor the linebackers are in terms of locating the football, fitting gaps. I mean, it is. I've never seen anything like it for Florida
Randy
State.
Shannon's terrible. He could walk into a strip club with $1,000 and not get a girl to talk to him. Okay? He's the worst recruiter I've ever seen. He's terrible. They cannot recruit a linebacker. They've recruited defensive linemen. They've recruited members of the secondary. They don't have a linebacker. They honestly do not. Now, that's somebody has said the reason why I'm not going to a third linebacker as opposed to the extra safety is because they don't have any. Well, yeah, you may want to put up a sign on campus. Can anyone play linebacker? Time to walk on, and that is recruiting. Duffner's not a good recruiter. Randy Shannon's a terrible recruiter. Odell Hagen's, the game's passed him by. Lawrence Dawsey, replaced by Ron Dugan's, phenomenal nulls. They've never produced a wide receiver. Florida State does not have a wide receiver in the NFL except for the transfer portal guys and Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. And if you're going to give Ron Dugan's credit for those two guys, then I want what you're smoking or drinking because you're the type of human being I want to turn into.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Looking at it nationally, do you think Texas can go to Michigan? And I mean, can they? Yes. But do you think Michigan's able to surprise us? Or do you think the Longhorns go up there and get a big one for the SEC?
I think Michigan is really going to play hard tomorrow. It seems like everyone is picking Texas, and it's kind of the trendy thing to do right now because, they have the two quarterbacks. I saw Arch Manning last week. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see him. He's a heck of a lot quicker than his uncles were. He's a different style of quarterback, but it's all about Quinn Ewers. And, I actually think we're going to have an upset here, a home upset tomorrow. I do think they would be better served if that was a 7:30, 8 o'clock game at night, but it's not. It's a high nooner, which always favors the road team. It's not the greatest weekend in college football. Okay,
like Tennessee, NC State might be the second best game,
and that should be a lot of fun. And that Colorado-Nebraska game, it's got the old Big 8 ties to it. That'll be interesting. I'll tell you what, I'm going to watch, and that's DJ Lagway, and to see what he can do against an inferior opponent. But
we think,
but if he tears it up, and JJ and I were talking about this earlier in the week, if he tears it up, I think Billy Napier, because he's fighting for his job, I think he's got to say to himself, I have a better chance of knocking off these power teams that are ahead of us with the return of Graham Mertz, who, of course, is out with a concussion. But what if Lagway's so good that he Lou Gehrig's Wally Pipp tomorrow night, excuse me.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very valid question because, I mean, obviously the only thing that's going to save Billy Napier here is wins and DJ Lagway's development. So, yeah, I think I would anticipate Lagway looks good tomorrow, and we'll see about Florida's defense and how close the game is. But I'm with you. I mean, at this point, if you're Billy Napier, you need Lagway out there because we know what Graham Mertz is. He's a bad fit for the offense anyway. Napier doesn't have a very creative mind offensively, doesn't have a very sophisticated scheme. He needs a quarterback that can just take off and go get 20 yards.
Right now, my texts are going absolutely crazy. There are officially 7 million people listening to this radio show right now. I am hearing from everyone, including the great Dave Campo, asking me to please express how I really feel. But, hey, it is how I feel. I'm mad, okay? There's no other way for me to uncover this. I am mad. The one thing that drives me crazy about anything else in life, okay? Listen, I've had my battles, professional, whatever. But no one ever will say to me, you do not have work ethic. I cannot stand lazy. I cannot stand people who expect to be given stuff. You have to work for what you earn. They paid this defensive line $2.5 million at Florida State. Wow. And they have done absolutely nothing. Those are supposed to be 4 high NFL draft picks. First, second, third round draft picks.
And it's almost like as a group, they're just like, all we care about is getting sacks because that's what's going to get us big money in the NFL.
Zero sacks.
So when it's a run, well, we're not playing it. I don't care.
Patrick Payton should not be in against the run.
No,
he should not be in against the run.
Not if that's going to be the effort.
So,
yeah.
Let's change the subject. Get us out of here, Hays. I need to go find a drink.
Let's get it back to the NFL. It's going to be fun. Coming up next, we will revisit last night's Ravens-Chiefs game. We'll also take a peek at Eagles-Packers tonight, and we will give you our final thoughts on Jaguars-Dolphins. That is it. You're listening to 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update, brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
After the first week of college football, 3 quarterbacks sit on top of the betting board as favorites to win this year's Heisman Trophy. Oregon's Dylan Gabriel, Ole Miss's Jackson Dart, and Cameron Ward of the Miami Hurricanes are all plus 850 to win this year's Heisman Trophy. Carson Beck of the Georgia Bulldogs is plus 900. Jalen Milroe of Alabama plus 1,000. Quinn Ewers of Texas plus 1,100. Georgia is now plus 270 to win this year's national championship after their Week 1 win against Clemson. Ohio State plus 450. Oregon is at plus 700. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010XL.
Duck Duck Rooter is currently hiring in all departments. We want great plumbers, CDL drivers, drain field installers, and lift station technicians. If you have experience in your trade and love to deliver a super high-quality level of customer service, you have found the right company. You will enjoy our benefits package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and working for the best in the industry. Apply at duckduckrooter.com. That's duckduckrooter.com. And click on the careers page. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Last week was fun with the debut release of Topps Composite Football. You can find popular brands like Cosmic Chrome, Midnight, and others in it. Enjoy Week 1 even more with Topps Composite Football. Showtime, Sports Cards, and Collectibles. Update your collection.
At Farrah & Farrah, our philosophy can be boiled down to one word: respect. Respect for every client, regardless of who they are or the size of their case. Respect for innocent victims, and respect for the law. So when the insurance company thinks they can bully you instead of paying a claim, we respectfully disagree. If you're hurt, call Farrah & Farrah. We'll help you get the respect you deserve. Call 800-500-5555. Jacksonville.
One of college football's most storied programs.
Get the latest from the Tallahassee Tribe on the Seminole Report.
Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team. Stay close to the Seminoles on 1010XL.
If you owe the IRS and can't pay, now is the time to call J. David Tax Law. After a 2-year hiatus, the IRS has resumed their aggressive collections letters. Don't wait. Call J. David Tax Law or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Sweeps is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hays Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars offense will see the return of Christian Kirk on Sunday in Miami. Kirk missed the last 6 games of the 2023 season with a core muscle injury. He also missed time this preseason with a mild calf injury. Trevor Lawrence this week on the importance of Christian Kirk's return to the Jaguars offense.
Obviously, he's an important part of our offense, our team, what he brings to the table. I think we all saw how important he was last year when we were missing him. Just the things that he's able to do really in every aspect of the game. He contributes and he's a playmaker, so very dependable, and it's going to be great to have him back out there.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Doors, please. Time now for the Sky Life Elite Take Flight Moment of the Week. Sky Life Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
Mahomes fires, running, it's Xavier again, worthy for a touchdown. Number 1 has 2 tonight.
Unbelievable. That's Mike Tirico with the call there. Mahomes to Worthy, 35-yard touchdown. The Ravens have a miscommunication on the back end there, and he's wide open. Touchdown with 10:32 left in the fourth quarter. Gave the Chiefs a 10-point lead. Really a backbreaker there for Baltimore, but a perfect take flight moment of the week for us. Again, give our friends at Sky Life Elite a call at 490-9332 if you're sick of commercial travel with the layovers and all the stuff that goes in it. Sky Life Elite, you go straight to the airport, you get out of your car, you get on the plane, and you go. So give them a call, 490-9332. And what a game last night.
It was incredible. It really was. And I thought when they went up by 10 that it was over. And I'm a little surprised that Harbaugh didn't kick the field goal earlier. They never do. When you're down 2 possessions, you can get the early field goal. They always seem to grind it out. They took a couple of minutes off the clock and settled for the field goal. And then, of course, we saw the final play. But you can always second-guess that and say, if you had taken that field goal a couple of minutes earlier, you would have had a little bit of clock left because they only had one timeout remaining late in that fourth quarter. But it was sensational football, and it's a great start to the NFL season. I tell you what gets me fired up, though. That's tonight. That's football in Brazil. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Did you get the letter from the commissioner telling us how great it is to have football in Brazil?
I just hope we can get the two teams back home. Hopefully we have a great game, and then hopefully they're able to safely be back in the continental United States.
Roger Goodell is telling us next that the Super Bowl is going somewhere. Why have the Super Bowl here when you can have it in Guam,
Perth, Australia?
Put it right on the equator or something. Right. That'll be good. But hey, it should be a great night tonight. College football, interesting weekend, and then it is on Jacksonville and Miami Sunday at 1:00.
That's right. JJ, let's cool down.
Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
That's what we're going to do. We've got 15 minutes remaining in the program. Let's begin the cool down with this. I have a Brian Thomas Jr. autograph football right here in front of me. As a matter of fact, you and I, maybe we should flip a coin and just stick this under our shirt on the way out. This is going to be a Hall of Famer someday, I'm telling you.
He could be Offensive Rookie of the Year. He had a great camp, and he's going to get opportunities. I mean, obviously, it looks like, Xavier Worthy, obviously, big statement last night, 2 touchdowns. We'll see what Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels can be. Yeah. But Brian Thomas Jr., I mean, he certainly does not look at it. There's been no part of this where it's looked like it's too big for him. Now, we'll see. And obviously, he's not the focal point of the offense. But what an exciting young player, and who wouldn't want an autographed football?
Let's do this. The next individual to join us here at Jenkins Hyundai, who can tell us what the final score was when the Jaguars ended the career of Dan Marino.
Love it.
It was a football game played right here in Duval. All you have to do is walk up and tell us, be the first person, give us that score. We will hand you this football. I think I'll take care of this football until we hear. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. We've got a couple of minutes left. JJ, let's begin with you. Final thoughts, Sunday, 1:00. How do you see Jacksonville, Miami?
I like the Dolphins 27-24. I think their offense will be a little too much.
I understand it, and it certainly could go that way. I think the Jaguars are going to get it done. I just like Hines Allen and Walker as a presence more than what the Dolphins have. I think defensively, I think Miami's headed for a tough year. Now, their offense is so explosive it may cover it in certain weeks, but I like the Jaguars. I think Hines Allen, Walker are the difference. But it will be a very entertaining game. I've got Jaguars 31, Dolphins 30.
Wow, so you have a high-scoring game. I was going to say the one that I would play more than any is the line sits at Jacksonville plus 3.5. Your total 48.5. I would play the under in this game, and I think everyone, not everyone, but most are playing the over. The recipe to beat Miami is to knock them off in a slugfest, to go back and forth and try to win them in a ball game where both teams are scoring a lot of points. I look at this Miami team. They're not really physical at the line of scrimmage, and they've lost their 2 best pass rushers. The former Miami Hurricane, Jalen Phillips, came back late in the week. He's not 100%. I think Prisco made an interesting point about his snap count. Believe it or not, what if Jacksonville gets a lead and tries to slow it down a little bit? What if this offensive line has read the headlines, which have been poor, and you can run ETN, and all of a sudden there is a Tank Bigsby sighting, and you're putting together a long drive in the heat, fatigue Miami's defense in the second half, and all of a sudden you look up and it's almost a balance of rushing plays to passing plays. I know that's probably a little bit, there's some fiction involved in that. But I think that's how you beat them if, in fact, it does happen on Sunday. Unfortunately, I've picked Miami. I think Miami's going to end up winning this game. It's going to be like a 20-17 game. I think it's going to be lower scoring than we believe. And That'll include the under as well.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
How about that?
We got a winner. He rolled in here with a 62-7.
Love it.
Final game for Dan Marino. I think it was the final game for Jimmy Johnson.
It was.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't the Jaguars also end the career of Jim Kelly?
They did.
Huh?
They did. How about that? They're
How about ending the career of Tua Sunday alone?
Yeah, might happen. We'll see. Matt Hays, what do you have coming up?
Matt Hays, Gators beat writer. Matt Hays.
I thought you guys were talking about me. I guess not.
You're just starting your career, bro.
What's going on, boys?
Are we foolish? Am I foolish to believe that if DJ Lagway against an inferior opponent lights it up to the extreme, that he becomes a Lou Gehrig to Wally Pipp?
I mean, at this point, doesn't matter. Seriously. Honestly,
Of course it matters. We got thousands and thousands and thousands of Gators fans listening. They want to hear from you.
Well, what I'm saying, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, if
it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter as far as the product on the field or them winning in games that they're going to be clearly the lesser team on the field. Let's put it that way. I mean, look, we all saw that, man. This is the same operational mess it's been for the previous 2 years. There's no difference. If anything, it was worse against Miami. And I know Miami potentially could be a very good team, but they didn't even look like they knew what they were doing half the time. And to me, that's the most damning part about this entire process. So I don't think it matters what quarterback is out there. And I still think their better chance of winning is with Graham Mertz if they can protect him. But I don't think they can protect him. So you may as well put DJ Lagway in there because at least he can give you something with his legs.
What do you guys got coming up?
We're talking all Gators, brother. This is it. This might be the last stand, Hays Carlyon.
About that.
This weekend may be
2 games
the last
and
stand.
done.
We'll see.
You think he can get fired? You think he can get fired this week?
I think
on Sunday?
everything is on the table right now in Gainesville. That's what I think. Everything. Because this isn't really as much about like what the administration wants. This is about some very upset people with some very deep pockets that are just about ready to walk away.
Everyone wants Lane. I was told Lane ain't going. If not, where are they going? Is it Dan Lanning? I mean, which the short list if this happens at Florida?
Well, let's put it this way. I can tell you where they're not going. They're not going to keep the guy they got right now because that's obvious what's going on there. I don't know about Lane Kiffin. There's so many different potential. What if Lane's got Ole Miss in the playoff and they make a deep playoff run? I don't think he goes anywhere. I mean, if they go out in the first round of the playoff, he'd probably crawl to Gainesville for that job. But it all depends on what happens. So, I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities. I mean, would Jed Fish leave Washington after 1 year? I think he would. To return to his alma mater? Yeah, I think he would. You know,
Willie Taggart be interested?
Yeah, you could dip into the NFL. You could take a run at Bobby Slowick with the Texans, a guy who's a known quarterback developer and an offensive mind, and that's what football is right now. It's the quarterback and it's the offense. So find someone like that.
All right, Matt, have a fun show.
All right, thanks, guys.
There he goes. Matt Hays, putting everything on the table.
That's right. National college football expert. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's always a good listen.
The little caveat I always have been hearing is, if you fire Billy Napier, DJ Lagway's going with him. We don't know that. Money can change that nowadays with the NIL.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Hey, what a lot of fun out here today at Jenkins Hyundai. Thank you to everyone for being a part of it. Thank you to Pete Prisco as well. Hey, it's a lot of fun.
Enjoyed it.
Enjoy the game
Absolutely.
Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Again, we'll have everything for you. Pre-game, in-game, post-game on your home of the Jaguars. Tommy Champion as well as JJ LaSalva. My name is Rick Ballou. I'll talk with you next. Monday night, 6 to 8. Hayes will be on you or be with you from 4 until 6 on Monday. That's going to do it. We'll talk with you then.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Herald.